It's so exciting. I'm moving to New York, I'm going to the city. There's a lot of energy. Pretty much everyone I know, including myself, falls on their face in the first 6 months at some point. I had a job offer at a big music label, and after I moved here, they told me that I no longer had the job. I was waking up every single day just like, I have no money and I need to get a job like right now. I was able to secure a job at a coffee shop a couple blocks away from me. Then we turned the coffee shop into a wine store. And that's kind of where things really started to come together. There was definitely no part of going to school where there was any preparation on talking about budgeting. And it's almost like this rite of passage where you hit your rock bottom, but once you get through that, you realize how much of a playground this place can be, which is beautiful. It was a path that I never would have predicted, but ended up being exactly where I needed to be.
This is Lease on Life, a series about navigating rent, roommates, and life in a new city.
What's up? Come on in. My name is Aaron Alcouloumre. I go by Kulu. I'm 25 and I live in Bed-Stuy. I work at a wine store for a few days a week, and the rest of my time I spend playing music. Summer 2019, I was living at home on Street Easy every day looking for an apartment with my future roommates. And the main things that drew us to this place was one 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, which is ideal. And it was less than $4,000 total. So everyone would be paying less than $1,000, which as good as it got back then, which is more unheard of now. So we're gonna start off in the kitchen right here, give you guys a little bit of a tour. We got the full fridge, beautiful, a nice gas stove situation. Over here is the dining table, it's where we eat most of our meals. Kind of went for a little bit of a diner vibe, fun Craigslist find. And continuing on, we got the living room. We pretty much moved into a totally empty apartment and it stayed somewhat empty for a while. So we started out very slow and steady. We don't have a TV in here. Instead, we've got a record player. I found this mid-century piece on the street. I love it. This table I built a couple of months ago. It's just some wood I found. We got a lot of art, a lot of plants. Try to keep the place real cozy and creative. Living in New York as an artist, it definitely costs a bit of money. The wine store job that I have right now is a really solid cushion, which totals to be around $2,000 a month. And then all the freelancing I do is equally helpful, but the expenses really add up quick. Pretty much a month-to-month basis, I'm gonna have $950 on rent, around $100-ish, sometimes a bit more on utilities. Food expenses end up being around $400, sometimes $500, depends. And upstairs we go. So we got 3 more bedrooms up here and another bathroom. And here's my bedroom. So I sleep and work from here. So I'm a musician, so I got my little studio set up, my trumpets, guitars, this awesome piano right here that I love. That's the space. Obviously I work at the wine store, but I make a lot of my income doing my freelance music work and from my solo project, streams and all that fun stuff, selling merch. Okay, sick. I'm the only roommate who signed the original lease, and I've been here for 4 years now. What I've found about looking for roommates is that I always end up going with someone who is a friend of a friend at least.
Well, I slid into his DMs, actually. His older sister was a good friend of mine from college, and I was looking to move to New York, and she reposted his Instagram story being free room, or there's a room to rent.
Not free, but
not free. And he posted this living room and I was like, yo. So I just reached out to him. And I was like, guess I'm moving to New York next month.
I definitely super intentionally just care the most that everyone is happy in a space. And for me, over the years, the thing that I've found to be the most consistent, like difficult to deal with situation with a roommate is someone who's working from home or someone who doesn't have a job and is just at home all day. Because I've just found like time and time again, if there's like one person that like you get up in the morning, you're like, peace, have a nice day, you come back, they're still there. The next day, same situation. You're home for a day, you know they're gonna always be there. You don't get that peace of being like, having that like aloneness to your space. And so it's always been a thing, like respect everyone's space, and we all kind of ebb and flow out of the apartment, so everyone has kind of like their times during the week where they know they have the apartment to themselves. And then when you see each other, you're like stoked. You're like, oh man, I haven't seen you in a few days. Like, let's actually hang out. It makes the relationships a lot easier to maintain. Let's do it. This is my pocket trumpet. I take this with me to work every day. And it's great because I kind of just get to take my time practicing. I get to transcribe some music, which is just like very unique for a job space to get to do that. Personally, in terms of like preparing financially to move to New York, I would prepare in a way that would allow a lot of wiggle room. Typically, when you're moving in, you're gonna need to pay first month's, last month's, a security deposit, and a broker's fee. You're probably gonna wanna buy some furniture if you can. So just make sure that you have like enough money to be making like those kind of purchases. I feel like if you already know you're gonna have a job, like at least have 4 times your rent just to make sure you're comfy. It's really grown into like such a sweet community. Like this whole area is amazing. For me, moving to New York, I expected to like get here, have a job, be chilling. That didn't happen at all, and like, it was one of those like beautiful things where like I completely was shooting for something, missed, fell, like had to kind of go through it, and then everything was like making sense in a way that I never could have figured out for myself, which was just like really, really dope.